and dine to me and make him crown the king. Glory and sound to me, release like Jubilee. The end of poverty, angelic body me. If I leave my throne, you gonna see a different side of me. This prophecy, prophecy, this prophecy, prophecy, this prophecy, this prophecy. Ultra pure gold, gonna approach the throne. Way up to the ceiling. I can't fight this feeling. If your eyes on the kingdom, we got common interests. We've been down so long, oppressing in our members. Twinkling of an eye, now watch us fly like Delta engines. Man, we beneficial when these laws, they benefit you. I got so much channel aggression towards any law official that say we not the people or any artificial that conjured up an image that is contrary to the scriptures. On their feet like polished brass, lightning bolts coming from his visage. You can approach the throne, but not until I extend the golden scepter. That's right, stay in line. Watch me handle mine.
Like my brother right here, he been looking at this image of the true image of Christ for the longest. Right. So I want to explain that to him. You get anything out of what you read, bro? What it's looking like? Get that flyer, bro. Read that flyer. Call us. You the chosen people of God said, I don't care what nobody say. You got to keep God's commandments now. You understand? Because the greatest man that ever walked the face of the earth left us an example. Watch, give me 1 Peter chapter 2 real quick. And then we're going to come back to that.
And y'all keep doing what y'all doing, man.
Yes, sir. Watch this.
1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. Verse 20. For what glory is it? For even hereunto you were, for even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us.
You reading about Christ right now, my brother. You do know that man right there, that righteous black man, suffered for his people and his people only. Right. The things you read about, his sacrifice, that was not for everybody. That was for one nation of people, and that nation is the Israelites. God chose. You understand? Read.
For even hereunto were ye called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example.
What did he do?
Leaving us an example.
He left us an example.
Right.
Examples are what? When somebody give you an example, what you supposed to do, bro? You're supposed to follow that example, right? Yeah. Especially if I don't really know, or if I don't have too much understanding, the best thing I can do is follow the righteous example, right?
Right.
Read.
That ye should follow his steps. Who did no sin.
What didn't Christ do?
Who did no sin.
Come on.
Neither was guile found in his mouth. Who when he was reviled not again.
Read.
When he suffered, he threatened not, but committed himself to him that judgeth righteously.
He committed himself to God that judges righteously. Christ didn't have no sin in him. So as the people of God, as the blood relatives of Jesus the Christ,
Right. That's right.
we ain't supposed to have no sin in us either. So now I want to show you what he looked like. What he looked like. After reading that, have you found out what Jesus looked like? Because they show you a picture on what color is he? He black right there, right? But what you think is right? You think he black or you think he white? You think he's something else? You think you know what I'm saying? He just a spirit? You think he black?
Yeah.
What about you, my brother? What you think? What you think Jesus looked like? What that mean? Say it out loud.
Like me.
You look like you, right?
Yes, right.
We gotta say these things. We gotta say these things out of our mouth, just so we understand and those around us understand as well. It's time out to be hiding it. It's been hidden from us too long. And now you got brothers out here really ready to bring it out and show their people who they are, how to really change what's going on in the neighborhood. And it starts with knowing what your Messiah look like. Watch this, Revelation 1.
Revelation chapter 1 and verse 14.
Bring it out.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So Christ, he said his head and his hairs were white like wool. Then the what? The hair on his head and the hair on his face, just like yours, was white in color and woolly in texture. Come on.
As white as snow. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet like unto fine brass.
His feet like unto fine brass. Brass is what color, my brother? Come show me that. I want to check it out. Come show it to me. Because it said Christ's feet like fine brass. You know what color that is, right? What color fine brass? That brown, right? That's it. Yeah. What's this? The Negro Almanac. I don't know if I've seen this before. What's in there? What kind of information is in there? Okay. So just different stuff as far as our history, right?
Anything you want to know about your history, right?
Okay. You think we can find that same information and more in this Bible about our history? I mean, I do understand that. But watch this. Give me Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. Christ a black man. You understand that? The greatest man ever walked the face of the earth. He's a black man.
See, the white man, he didn't print everything.
Right.
That's why they have black history, because they didn't teach us everything.
Exactly. That's the reason why in slavery they gave us something called the Negro Bible. Different things that we'll be able to read to you out this Bible, the full Bible, were taken out during our time in slavery. Why? Because the Bible ain't about sitting back and just letting people do what they want to do to you.
Right.
The Bible is a book about change, a book about the resurrection, the resurgence of God's people.
That's
how
right.
they came from a high state, fell very low to the bottom, like we in Marcus' bottom right now. And they profiting off of our money, off of our work. Still, they ain't gotta help us on the plantation for real. But every time we go to our job, and we get that check and they take them taxes out, it's the same thing.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But watch this.
Isaiah chapter 34 and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
So unlike people have been doing, God is telling us here to come back. Once you realize that this ain't no ordinary book. This ain't just no self-help religious book. This ain't T.D. Jakes. This ain't Juanita Bottom. This ain't Creflo Dollar.
That's right.
This ain't Joel Osteen. This ain't the white man book.
Right.
You gotta do what? Read.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
You actually gotta seek out of it and read now, because most Christians, they don't really read the Bible. They go to church on Sunday, they go to Wednesday night Bible school, they pretend like they godly, and they really not. That's why you see pastors that get in trouble for things like molesting little children. They washing money out the church, money laundering. You see what I'm saying? They selling drugs. A pastor in New York, Brooklyn, just got robbed for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
$400,000 in the middle of his service. And guess what it come to find out he did? Took $90,000 from one of his congregants. That sounds like righteous judgment to me.
That's right.
You understand that? That show you that apparently what they doing and what this book say, it ain't the same.
Right.
That's why we got to do what? Read it again.
Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read.
We got to seek out of the book of the Lord and read, because this is what's going to tell us before we were ever called black, before we were ever called African American, Negro, color, coon, whatever name they wanted to give us, we were the Israelites.
Right.
We are the Israelites.
That's right.
You understand? Read.
No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate.
None shall want her mate. Meaning when you really look at the Bible, you really don't need any other book to show you who it's talking about. I'm going to give you an example. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. This is prophecy, right? And what we find out is prophecy, when it comes to pass, becomes history.
That's right.
You understand?
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today.
Here's some history about black folks. How did we get over here? From the shores of the west coast of Africa. What was our mode of transportation? Ship. By ship, right? Watch this. This is a prophecy. Meaning it hadn't happened yet.
Cargo.
That Moses gave to the children of Israel after they came out of serving slavery in Egypt. That's kind of funny. This is written to a people that was once in slavery. And it's going to tell them how they're going to go back into slavery if they don't keep their God's commandments. And I want you to tell me who we're talking about. Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So the Lord said He's going to bring the Israelites into Egypt, where they were just serving in slavery again. And that don't necessarily mean the landmass Egypt as well, right? Watch what it means. I'm going to show you. You going to it. Because Egypt is a Greek word. It means something. Raise it.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
See what He called the land of Egypt? Called the house of bondage or slavery. The Israelites were slaves.
Right.
Slaves for over 400 years. They built the pyramids. They built the Valley of the Kings. All these different things. People would have you believe that black people were the Egyptians. But guess what? I'm going to tell you something. All skin folk ain't kinfolk.
Right.
It's so-called Arabs that's darker than me. And we know we not the same. So we have to come back to what God says. Seek out of the book of the Lord and read, because school, all these different sources are going to teach you that, yeah, you Egyptian or you something else. Everything except for the children of God.
Right.
But watch this. Go back to Deuteronomy 28, 6 to 8 now. So now we know what Egypt means in this particular passage. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
So God said He's going to bring the Israelites back into Egypt or bondage or slavery again. How?
With ships.
How black folk coming to slavery? How the Israelites coming to slavery?
With ships.
Black folks went into slavery on ships, just like you can see in this picture. We were cargo, like you said, stacked on top of each other, levels next to each other. Our women would use the bathroom, have babies, defecate, they menstrual cycle. If they was on the top, all that'll bleed down to the bottom.
Right.
And we had to suffer that all the way until we got over here. And that's if we even made it. Due to those unsanitary conditions. And then as soon as we got off the boat, matter of fact, I'm going to let him read it out the Bible. Read that.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Not going to see your homeland anymore again because you were brought into slavery on slave ships.
And there,
And when you get there,
ye shall be sold.
you're going to be what?
Sold.
25, 35, 45 sold to Master Charles in Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Bring it out.
Right here off the water. That was a popular slave dock. You see what I'm saying? In Natchez, all these different places. God say when we come into slavery, when we finish it out, and I got you. Watch, don't forget. Watch this.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Your enemies, because friends don't sell friends into slavery.
Right.
Family don't sell family into slavery.
Right.
Nor do they buy them in slavery. Read.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Bondmen and bondwomen, as soon as we got off the boat.
And no man shall buy you.
No man shall buy you. That don't mean ain't nobody gonna buy us. We was bought and sold everywhere. That's why you got black folks from here to Long Island, New York.
Right.
You understand? Because we were bought and sold. What it means when it says bought here, it means redeemed. Meaning can't nobody save you out of this curse. You understand? So what are we showing you? This Bible lines up perfectly with the history of your people.
Right.
We the Israelites. You understand? What you got, bro? I think you finna say something. Put it down.
Before slavery, we weren't slaves. This woman came over here. We were free.
To some extent, because we had some of our brothers actually came over here in, what was that? 539 BC. 539 BC. What people now know as the Native Americans, that's actually the tribe of Gad, another one of the 12 tribes of Israel. They were here. Well, matter of fact, let me show it to you. 2nd Ezra chapter 13.
Read up.
2nd Ezra chapter 13. That's why the Lord said you got to come back to this Bible. Everything you ever wanted to know is right here. Watch this.
2nd Ezra chapter 13 verse 40. Those of the 10 tribes
10 tribes, come on.
which were carried away prisoners out of their own land at the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh, king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters. And so they came into another land.
So they came into another land. They went to another land in slavery under the Assyrians, right? The 10 tribes would be the northern kingdom of Israel. Happened during the split, during the times of the son of King Solomon, Rehoboam, all right? He caused the 12 tribes to be split into not one kingdom, but 2 kingdoms, right? One kingdom being the southern kingdom, the other kingdom being the northern kingdom. These 10 tribes that we talking about, from Ephraim on down, these are the ones that came to America. And we're going to show you. Watch this.
Verse 41.
Give me also ref on their phones. We can show them.
But they took this counsel among themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
So they took the counsel of these tribes. Because today, they not called these names. They got to these different land masses, and when they were eventually conquered, they were given different names like Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Dominicans, Guatemalans, American Indians. You understand?
Right.
Read it again.
But they took this counsel among themselves,
They said, you know what? We're going to get together. Read.
that they would leave the multitude of the heathen,
We're going to leave away from around these other nations, right?
and go forth unto a further country,
We're going to go to a further country, somewhere else. Read.
where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. When Christopher Columbus, quote unquote, found, which he didn't found, he actually read this and knew people were already over here. He called it the New World. You understand? We're going to go to a place where nobody was. Read.
That they might keep their statutes.
That we might keep our statues. Like, for instance, you see these things on our shirts? These called fringes, right? This is a law given in the book of Numbers, chapter 15, 38, to the people of God. Those same tribes that you're seeing on that chart, right? Then it says that the northern kingdom tribes would come over to this side of the world and start to keep their laws. Look at the bottom of our shirt, and I want you to look at the bottom of their shirts. You see these same looking thing, right? Where do you think they got that from?
Bring it out.
They got that from the Bible. They had been doing that. These the people of God.
Right.
That's why you can still go to these places and find people that look like us. They might not consider themselves African American because, well, that's just wasn't where they was in captivity yet. But they may be Ephraim. They may be Puerto Rican. They may be Cuban. You see what I'm saying? They Native American. All these different things. All of us, we think we African American. Or what the Bible says is Judah. We actually might be Native American or Gad. You see what I'm saying?
You might be anything.
So put that down. But regardless of that at all, guess who we are? We the Israelites.
That's right.
Well, what we're showing you. You can come back and find all that in the Bible. Right? Now watch what this place called, because it got a name. Watch what it was called. Watch this.
Which they never kept in their own land.
Because they didn't keep these statutes in their own land. That's the reason why they went into slavery to begin with. Read.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half. And the same region It's called Arsareth.
So Arsareth, check this out, bro. I know you're on the phone, but it said this same region is called Arsareth, right? Now we got the, what's that?
Yeah, Bible Encyclopedia, Jewish Encyclopedia.
The Jewish Encyclopedia. They got things in their books that's not in our books about us. I wonder why. Come read it so everybody can hear it. Listen to it, my brother. Watch this. This is the Jewish Encyclopedia, right? Watch this.
Jewish Encyclopedia, Arsareth.
You just read that word Arsareth in the Bible, right? Where the 10 tribes came where nobody ever lived. They're the first people over there, right? Read. Watch what this particular place is called today.
Arsareth, the name of the land beyond the great river, far away from the habitation of man, in which the 10 tribes of Israel will dwell, observing the laws of Moses until the time of restoration, according to 4th Ezra chapter 13, verse 45.
You just read that. 4th Ezra or 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 45. It said the 10 tribes are going to come to a place where no man has ever dwelt and keep their statutes and commandments, keep their customs, right? Read.
Columbus,
Who? Columbus, who they say found this place, and we all know that ain't true. Because just like you said, and just like we read, we were already here. Read.
identified America with this land.
Wait a minute, hold up. Christopher Columbus took your book, found out you was over here, and came and put you in slavery.
That's right.
God already been gave it to us. God already been gave us the history beyond what anything that we could be taught in any conventional American library. What they would get, what they want to give us.
Right.
God already got it in the book. That's why they said have you in your Christian church, in the church. Now don't read the Bible. We ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna do a sermon. We're gonna sing and dance, and we're gonna make everybody feel good. But we'll never actually open it up to see what exactly it's speaking of. Arsareth in the Bible is America.
That's
where the
right.
10 tribes of Israel came and dwelt until 1492, where they was conquered by the Spanish conquistadors. And then later, their brothers, the so-called African Americans and so on, came from the shores of the west coast of Africa.
Used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.